and welcome to Gunners Daily YouTube channel, where I'm covering all the latest Arsenal news and everything that is happening around the club. Nottingham Forest 1, Arsenal 2. Good game, 3 points in the bag, and we can now fully focus on our next game, and that is Liverpool at home. A game after which, in my opinion, we will be much smarter, and it will be much clearer to us in which direction our season is going. But today, we are going to talk about the January transfer window and Arsenal's decision to not bring anyone new to the Emirates this winter. But before we start, like always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Thank you, and let's get into it. So, bear in mind, at the time of recording this, there is still a little more than 24 hours until the January transfer window is officially closed. So, in theory, Arsenal could still sign someone this winter. Deals could still get done. But judging by the last month or so, and everything that we've been reading about Arsenal not being in a good position to sign players this winter due to their financial fair play situation, no good players available on the market at the moment, Arteta claiming that the current squad is good enough for the rest of this season, we could say that it became more and more obvious to everyone as days passed that we are not planning to make any new signings this month. But like I said, that could still happen. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself with this video, who knows. Maybe Arsenal plans to sign 5 players in the next 24 hours. Maybe Edu Gaspar is in Paris right now, negotiating with Kylian Mbappe, who knows. But let's be real. I think there's maybe 5% chance that we will see a new player joining the club in the next 24 hours. So, with that out of the way, I wanted to discuss about our current squad and maybe answer the main question that's been going on around social media for the past few weeks. And that is, do Arsenal really need any new players at the moment? Well, look, if you ask me, I already said it a million times before. I still think we needed to bring at least one more midfielder this January. It doesn't even have to be a permanent deal, someone on a 6-month loan deal. I would take that, because I still think that we are only one Declan Rice injury away from being in complete chaos. A lot of tough games are in front of us, both in the league and in the Champions League. And besides Declan Rice, your only true options in midfield at the moment are 32-year-old Jorginho and 31-year-old Mohamed Elneny. Don't even get me started on Thomas Partey, because the man played, 3, 4, 5 games this season so far. And we are now entering in February. So I don't really count on him for anything. When healthy, he's a brilliant player for me. I've already said it. He's amongst top 5 best players in the league in his position, no doubt. But the problem is, he's just never fit. He's never ever healthy. And knowing our luck, he will finally return in 2 weeks' time. And after 2 world-class great performances, he will once again get injured and will be ruled out for the rest of the season. Great player, but for me, it's like at this point, I almost forgot that he's still in the club. So, Mohamed Elneny and Jorginho are your only remaining options. Of course, you can technically put Emil Smith-Rowe and Kai Havertz alongside Declan Rice. But they are not what we need in that position, at least in my opinion. Partey would have been a perfect option for us alongside Rice in the middle. But unfortunately, it is what it is. So my point is, if Declan Rice, God forbid, gets injured, and at the same time you are chasing the Premier League and the Champions League title, your only true remaining midfield options in the squad are Elneny and Jorginho. And I don't know, for me, we are not serious people. And if we fail once again this season and don't win any trophies and get hammered by injuries, or our players drop in form and we don't win anything, it's on ourselves. There's no one else to blame. All in all, I think another midfielder, at least on a 6-month loan deal, was a must for this January transfer window. But okay, let's hope that no one gets injured, and then in the summer, we could potentially sign some big names, some heavy hitters. Now, to my second point, and that is a striker. As I've already said numerous times, for me, striker and a midfielder would be perfect January transfer window for us. We shouldn't be greedy. 2 new players in positions that have been a massive problem for us so far this season would change the whole landscape and view on things. New striker and midfielder would offer you more depth, more options, more rotations if needed, more security, etc., etc. We are in February, and Gabriel Jesus has already been out injured this season for almost 2 months. And when he's injured, it's like our complete attack falls apart, because we all know that he's the key piece to the puzzle when it comes to our offensive tactics. He may not score goals so often, we already know that, but he makes other things happen. He's simply the focal point of our attack, and everything goes through him in this or that way. So when he's healthy, he's undeniably our best option up front. And in my opinion, he's perfect for this system. But the problem is, he's already missed 2 months of football this season. And if he, once again, gets some small injury or something that would keep him off the pitch for a month, let's say, your only other option is Eddie Nketiah. And I love Nketiah. He's Highland, he's one of our own, but let me ask you. When the schedule gets tricky in a month's time, 2 months, something like that, and you will have to play Manchester City in the league, and if you beat Porto, you will maybe play against Real Madrid in the same week, 2 times in total. Do you really think that Eddie Nketiah can be your number one option at Santiago Bernabeu? Like I said, I love Eddie Nketiah. I think he's a great guy, hard worker, he does his best, but at the end of the day, same as with Declan Rice in midfield, as far as our attacking options go, we are one Gabriel Jesus injury away from a complete crisis in what is going to be a crucial part of this season when you play against all the heavy hitters, against the Champions League clubs, etc., etc. So basically, I guess you could say that Mikel Arteta and Edu Gaspar are heavily relying on the fact that none of our key players will get injured for the next 4 months or so. And that's my whole point. That's how I also personally see this. If we don't suffer any major injuries for the rest of this season, this current squad is definitely good enough to play against any other side in Europe and in the league, especially if Thomas Partey returns to the starting 11. But you know what? That's a lot of ifs, if you know what I'm saying. And like I said, there's still 4 months of football in front of us, and anything could happen. There are still, 20 games left to play this season, minimum. If you get through in the UCL, it could be even more. You get my point. I remember that transfer window in, 2015, I think, something like that, when Arsenal bought only Peter Cech in the whole transfer window. And we all knew that we needed another top quality striker and a midfielder, and 2 months into the season, our squad is depleted with injuries, and our key players are dropping out of form, and we are simply running out of energy. And we were all saying, we were this close to achieve something big this season. Once again, our transfer policy failed us. Same thing happened in January transfer window, 1 year earlier, if I'm not wrong. When our squad was screaming for new reinforcements, we got hit by injuries, and Arsene Wenger only signed Kim Kallström, who came from, Spartak Moscow, if I remember correctly. Kim Kallström with a broken back. Yes, with a broken back. You're probably wondering, why am I saying all this? Well, because I've already seen it all before. It's like a never-ending movie. Everything just goes in circle and nothing ever changes. We always know what are our main problems and what are we missing, what we need to fix to get back on our feet and finally win it all that season. But for some odd reason, we never do the right thing. It's unbelievable. We'll be talking throughout this whole video that we need, in my opinion, a new midfielder and a striker, at least, if we want to make sure that we will be competitive on all fronts till the end of the season, right? And I wouldn't be shocked one bit if Arteta and Edu Gaspar decide in the last hour of the transfer window to bring in a new goalkeeper, for example, because it makes zero sense. And we usually love doing things that make zero sense when it comes to buying players. Same goes for selling players. If we signed Cristiano Ronaldo 20 years ago instead of Manchester United, he would probably join Real Madrid on a free contract, knowing how shit we are when it comes to selling players. All in all, these are just some of my thoughts on this whole January transfer window and the work we've done so far. If we don't suffer any new injuries and our squad stays healthy, I definitely think that our best 11 is good enough to play against any side in Europe. I'm that confident, 100%. But if, God forbid, we get struck by 1 or 2 major injuries, then we are in a massive danger of our season falling apart completely. 2 big injuries for us at the moment would mean that we will be fighting for the top 4 finish in May. That's how close we are from a total chaos, in my opinion. But let's hope it won't come to that, and for once in our history, injuries will not destroy our season and any chance for silverware. And that's it. So tell me, what are your thoughts on our January transfer window inactivity? Do you think we have a good enough squad, or do you think it could come back and haunt us? Write down in the comments. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.